Hello, 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 hello. Here we have PEX versus Pineapple Express is PEX versus TBG, which is RetroRockets Green. We are in the Division 2 TB4 +1 semi-finals of the silver bracket. This is going to be a fantastic set of games. Let's make sure the auto tracking is on this time. And yeah, it's a best of 5 for a place in the finals. We're starting off on Viag, who's picking up a red armor, very well stacked. Using this pent to hold down any placement. Staying down here. Waiting for a rocket launcher. Not going to do much damage with the rocket launcher there. Viag gets Pantigua. Unfortunate spawn there from Blaze. Does well to avoid it. Doesn't quite pick up the yellow armor before going down. And now Dobez is well stacked and in a place to do some damage. Quad's up very soon. TBG in the right place for it. Goes on to Dobez, who still has a little bit of armor but not much health left. Well played coming through there. In a position to use this quad to secure the next RA. Just going to hold off down the bottom here. A few teammates coming in. Still a few seconds left on quad. Should be able to make good use of it. At the very least to hold this down. If he can get the kill, very nice on Vega. That is a secured LG. A lost LG for Pineapple Express. Very important. Grab that. This map has a lot of roaming. Players much less likely than on other maps to sort of link up and play entirely together as a team. They will do for parts of it, but mostly just when they want to take a major item. Nice push down. Blaze has the RA and Nexus now with the quad. Super shotgun in hand. Now picks up a rocket launcher and that makes you a danger. Super shotgun very powerful with the quad at close range, of course. PEX looking decent though. Oh no, never mind. Viag's just gone down to Nexus with a quad rocket, so what I was about to say doesn't count, but they did have 2 rocket launchers and 2 players with red. Right now we have TBG with a red, a yellow and a green armor on their team. 2 rocket launchers. So looking in a good place. The pack getting pointed out by a teammate there for Nexus. To be able to pick up and grab quite a lot of ammo. A death there for Nexus. Goes down to Blaze, who bombs in. Gets the red. Squeeze over here. Fighting for the quad. Holding it down pretty well right now. A few players coming in from the bottom. But up behind is Nexus with the regular shotguns. Take out the quad. While Nexus wasn't paying attention. There is an LG in play somewhere. Very well stacked Vegeta. I'm good at names. It's almost tied up. 24 to 25. A moment of quiet crosses the server before rockets start flying. And PEX look to take a lead in this moment. They've got good control. There's a couple of items coming up. They're going to be able to take this red, put it onto Vegeta. With a rocket launcher and a lot of ammo. And a small amount of ammo on the LG. So probably going to hunt around to try and take a bit of ammo before this quad comes up if he can. Nice rockets in there. Nexus is going to pick up the quad. No major items for him. Goes straight down to the LG of Blaze. Who's running around playing very good Quake. I'm going to get on to Blaze because... Ah, Blaze has gone down. Never mind. Auto tracker was correct to not get on it. That's fine. Blaze running in with the shotgun. Just can't quite finish the job there. Nice rockets. Pence up. Good grab right before getting hit in the face with a team rocket. On 36 health, that would not have been a great place. And now we have Nexus with an LG 81 rockets in the rocket launcher. A super shotgun as well, and a lot of ammo on that. And the pentaquad. The entirety of Pineapple Express right now is just hiding. How has Squeeze managed to dodge every single one of those LG shots? Somehow dances around the shots. It would have only taken one little lick. And Nexus really hasn't managed to do very much with that. Going on a tear, because that's the correct thing to do to try and push and make frags on the board with that position. But not able to find very much. And because of it, because of playing roaming, not able to get too much in the way of control over anywhere. Pineapple Express doing very well to dodge that. Dangerous situation when the enemy team's got pentaquad. Very well stacked up absolutely everybody as we go into this quad fight. Quad immediately goes down after being picked up, doing no damage. Happens quite often on this. It's a very open quad. A lot of places you can come in from. Even if you've got 4 guys defending it, it's very easy for somebody else. Yeah, it's very easy to predict where the shot... Well, obviously they're going to be stood on quad when quad comes up. So you see the quad, and you just start spamming rockets at it. And in that moment, everybody in the game had a very powerful item, and most people had a decent amount of stack. So it was going to be a very entertaining quad fight. 15 seconds to quad now then. Couple of rocket launchers up. Where's all this fighting going on? Come on, auto tracker. I'm not good enough to be able to overwrite the auto tracker all the time. Nice frag with this quad on Blaze. Wants to find some cells. He knows where some are. Some just in that corner. Here we go. Not much in the way of LG ammo, but with the quad, sometimes you can play it a bit like a sniper rifle. Doesn't end up going too well for him. Does get the one frag. Squeeze doing very well there against the RA. And Vegeta smashing up a few, fighting for that red armor. The red is going to escape, but Dobbers is pretty low. Again, couple of rockets, but not much in the way of health and armor. Pangrita gets the red, but takes a lot of damage in the process. I've noticed that just watching down on the scoreboard. Quad going to wear off without too much impact, but definitely it's the imperceptible impact of a quad. You don't know how many people ran past, saw the glow of the quad, and said, nah, I'm not fighting for that. And they would be correct to have done that, for sure. Yellow armor on Dobbers. This could be a good fight for him to take. Just can't quite connect enough before Viag is able to get in there, sink his teeth in and get some distance as well. Shotgun versus rocket launcher. One player is trying to push in, get very close. The other player is trying to get away so that they don't self-damage with the rocket launcher. Low health quad right now, but very well stacked. A lot of cells in the backpack if Pangrita could manage to pick up an LG. Getting some good frags in here, not having to go hunting for them. Playing this time, I think it's scared TVG. The last time they had the quad and they weren't able to make anything count on the scoreboard because they went hunting with it. Not really playing for hunting frags, just playing for map control, which is the correct thing to do at this point. But sometimes you play for the map control and players just coming to you. And sometimes you play to hunt and you don't get any frags because everybody's running around in a circle. It's a kind of a figure 8 map, I would say, in the ways that you generally run around it. Unfortunate Vegeta there, grabbing the quad, but nothing the quad can do against someone who's invulnerable. And Gora's played this Pent incredibly well, taking out the quad, getting a lot of frags, playing it as a roamer is working out. Yeah, playing as a roamer is working out very well for them. They'll get Gore stacked back up with this red after the Pents run out. And Gore will continue to go on a bit of a fragging spree. Again, we see this quite often, especially in the lower divisions. One team with a certified raid boss, kind of, you see every time. Blaze is the one getting given the items and is going ahead of everybody else in terms of frags. And then the other team, 26, 24, 25, 22 in kills. Just very even on one team. Points are a little bit different as you're looking at it. But yeah, very nice. Very nice and even. Always good. It is funny when you see a full raid boss though. Someone who gets every item for the entire map. And sometimes it's just a case that they really like that map, or they're just having a fantastic day. Sometimes it's a case that they are the best one on the team by far. But it is good when teamwork should be however it works best for your team. If that means raid bossing up one guy because they're the best, if that means playing it evenly and making sure that whoever's there gets the item, and kind of playing as a group of individuals sharing information. Don't tease me like that, Des. I thought it had actually broken. I've been having stream quality problems recently, and Des has just told me that the stream quality is terrible. Very even coming up. I'm not going to try and do the maths because we're at 55 seconds into the minute. And the game does the maths for me, which is lovely. Best feature of QuakeWorld. That in chat. TBG leads by 12 frags. 7 minutes remaining. This is the best feature. All the chaos, all the time. And then we go to Nexus, who's not doing a lot and just picks up a red for free. Quad goes immediately down. Nexus is still around with a very nice stack. A rocket launcher, as I read from Zerial's QuakeWorld wiki page. Enough rockets to feed a Mexican village, and enough LG to boot. Enough LG to power that Mexican village. Scoreline drifts a little bit out in favour of TBG right now. Nexus getting stacked well. Absolutely the right choice right now for them to give all of this stack to Nexus. If you look over at the side, Hex, 1 rocket launcher, 2 shotgun, well 3 shotguns, 1 grenade launcher. No, that's gone as well. Just shotguns. And TBG has 4 rocket launchers, and everybody on the team has something stacked up. Nexus now very well stacked, and with the quad. Time to go on a tear and time to try and put a lot of frags on the scoreboard right now, because the whole team is stacked up, so they don't need so much to try and defend one area with the quad and try and push in just using the quad, because they have the rest of the rocket launchers and good stack on the rest of the team to be able to hold down whatever positions they like, such as this. I didn't catch who was holding that down, but a player holding that down so that Nexus could come in. But any of the players could take the red armor on TBG and it would be a worthwhile take because they've all got weapons. Great timing on the grab of that pent. I mean, as soon as you can, the better, but we've seen a couple of grabs of the pent that have immediately been followed up by a rocket launcher to the face. Grab the health. They seem to be raid bossing a little bit, but the raid boss keeps changing. TBG pulling out a solid lead right now as we enter the final 5 minutes of the game. Nice rocket launcher. Holding out for this red with the quad. So a defensive play from TBG now. They've got a bit of a lead, so it makes sense. And there seems to be a lot of spawns in this. I haven't played this map before myself, but it does seem that there is a lot of spawns around this area. Plus some weapons to get around to, so a lot of people feeding into this red area. A grab from Dobbs on the red, and now we have 2 guys stacked up on either team, 3 if you're counting Vegeta on Pex. 4 rockets on both teams, well, 1 lightning gun with Nexus, but he also has a rocket launcher, I think. Ooh, just be glad that that shot went through during the invulnerability. There's not a lot of invulnerability in Quake, you're just not quite spawned in immediately. Squeeze down to the quad. They're using the quad to hold off this red armor coming up soon. There it is. And there we go. Viag doesn't go down in the actual fight, so very well played from Viag to be able to come back and take another punch at that red armor just in case. If TBG had like faffed around with you take it, no you take it, then Viag could have stolen that quite easily. So very well played there from Viag to get out of dodge. Squeeze with the 9 health and a lightning gun. A good takeout there. Paniagua. People are going to have to send me themselves recording themselves playing their saying their own name at some point, because I've got no idea and I'll probably still pronounce it wrong. But if you'd like to do that, please do. Anyway, with the quad, very high bounce up into the air. Vegeta goes down. Rockets coming in from Blaze. And Paniagua low, but in a good position. A lot of rockets. A lot of cells. Every time I see a player running around, they either have no cells and a lightning gun, or all the cells and no lightning gun. It's a particularly difficult lightning gun to pick up on this map, but still. It seems to be way easier to pick up cells if you don't get the lightning gun. Admittedly, you are going to then use them, but you know what I mean. Rocket launcher is still very powerful on this map. A lot of long-range encounters, a lot of round the corners, and explosions are good because you don't have to see the opponent to be able to shoot them. Very nice work there from Blaze. Picks up a couple of frags. We're coming up to 1 minute left to go. Nice rocket. Very clean. A clinical rocket. 21 frags they've got to make up in this last minute. It's going to be a hell of a struggle. The quad is coming up in 15 seconds. They'll have 30 seconds left if they can pick up the quad. It will be a full quad. It's a very good stack here to be able to take the quad, and indeed Blaze does get it. Goes low in the process. Like I said, these guys know these guys know the timing on the quad, so they just smash in a load of rockets right as the quad spawns. Especially the team that knows they don't have a player stood on quad. Big rockets coming out. Who got that frag? I didn't see it in the scoreboard, but whoever got that frag, absolutely fantastic. I need to pause this before it goes off. 168 to 125, those numbers are going to be wrong because one of the players dropped, but a very close game in the end. TBG takes the win, and we move on to map number 2. Map number 2 after a win on map number 1 of Phantom Beast by TBG, also known as RetroRockets Green. We have the M2. Quad going to TBG right off the bat, and a rocket launcher. Now aiming to take control of this middle area. Good rocket. Blaze gets out of there. Looks like Quad... Yeah, Red Mega picked up both at the same time, of course, in that room. A very powerful room to be in control of. This room we're studying right now. Rocket launcher spawning right here. Red and Mega spawning just up there. If you open this button that we're stood just behind us, above the heads of these guys, then you'll be able to take another armor. It's all about controlling this room, this map. But you can't just control this room, because of course if you just control this room, then you won't get any fragged, and you won't get the quad. So a bit of roaming required. And there's other ways to get back into the game, of course. If a team was just to completely stack up in this one room, then you'd be able to take it back because you could pick up the Mega from elsewhere, the Red from elsewhere. Yeah, you'd be able to take the second Red, probably get in there. Take the other Mega, get the other weapons. You could do alright out of it, is what I'm saying. Heavy lead in the first 2 minutes, I'm noticing. For Pex, they've taken a 26 frag lead immediately. Now, I do technically know who won this, but I have forgotten. As is the brilliance of my mind of just being able to completely ignore things that are put right in front of me. I was able to go and download these and forget the scorelines, which is brilliant. But this is a heavy lead. They'll be wanting to even things up, of course, after the first round, because otherwise they've got to do a reverse sweep to take the win. Great shooting here from Gore. Manages to find the frag before the Red gets taken. And the Mega comes up for him. Absolutely beautiful. Finding more. Paniaga going down, unfortunately. Dobez falls in the lava. We've all done it about 1,000 times. Quad fight. Vegeta gonna get the quad. Peck's looking very dangerous at the start of this map. It was a good fight and they managed to get the right player in at the right time. Good rocket launcher there from Vegeta. Realising that someone was in this red room and just spamming a rocket into it just in case, which pushed out the player. I think they did grab the red. Oh no, they can't have because the red's only just come up. Must have had some armour above their head that I noticed. Huge score difference already, and it's just getting bigger. It's nothing too much to panic about. You know, at this stage, it's not great. You don't want it to happen, but you can very much get back into this map. This map, specifically the map, not really, but the way that this map is going to be played. Like, not the map as in the layout, but the map as in this frame of Quake. This point to be played for. I expect it to be quite swingy. You can see the way that the teams are playing. They're taking full control of the map, But they are... Pex is very much leaving themselves open that if something happens, a bit of good luck for TBG, that they could very much come back into it. Of course, right now they're absolutely smashing it on the scoreboard, sitting around, playing around the rocket launcher. You know, grabbing it when you see that somebody is going to respawn and then leaving. All of that. But there is a chance that, yeah, if TBG can steal a quad and a red quad, get a quad on a player with a red mega and a rocket launcher, they're straight back into this game, I would say. There they are, they've got a rocket and good play, but everyone from Pex playing around the same place. TBG now with the quad, with a very well stacked up player, with a rocket launcher. Like I said, this could be the turning point. This could be how it goes. Nexus frags a teammate. Purposeful frag to drop a low rocket launcher, I think. Still a bit of time left on the quad. Should be using this to take into this room and take the very powerful room in the middle. As they do. Not quite going to be able to get a full stack up of teammates in there. Blaze comes through at an unfortunate moment and Panagora's got it. And another frag. Like we said, everything coming back together. Yellow armor taken. And good stack. Holding out at the back here, ready for the quad that's coming up in 5 seconds. Who's going to jump on it? Gore's in place. Delays it by a second, doesn't see anybody. Doesn't want to drop down because it's another one like we saw on the last map where that quad, you could absolutely just get swamped by rockets. As soon as you drop on the quad, people are going to see you as soon as they see the quad. So standing up there makes sense. Waiting a second, seeing if anybody comes. If somebody else goes for the quad, in the perfect position to just drop a couple of rockets and take the quad out. If they don't, then that's a quad. The quad went quite well. They've brought back a lot of frags. They've stemmed the flow. They're not swinging it back in their favour so much, but they have stopped any frags going out. Though Pex now have had a couple of good spawns and a couple of unfortunate spawns from TBG. Just as a reminder for anybody, TBG are in green and Pex are in orange. 7 health on your quad, it's not the greatest, but if that's the best you can do, I think they were probably hoping that getting the quad with a rocket launcher was more powerful than getting the quad on a fresh spawn. If you can get out of there, which it looked like they were almost going to be able to, then you're in a good place to continue. Nice stack from Squeeze, who's going to be holding down the RL room and keeping control over those extra items until a friend can come by. Gore with a red, 3 rockets is going to take you down. He manages to get the rockets in first. Panigura's got the rocket launcher and manages to make the frag. Vegeta with a few frags. People just keep running into him and he's just going to keep taking the frags. Very nicely done. Holding out. Gets a mega. Red's up, might as well take it. And quad now. Who grabs it? Blaze has got it. Big frags, everybody's dead. Blaze stays alive by 10 HP. Has to be careful though. Could absolutely blow himself up if they place a rocket in the wrong place. 2 nice frags there. And now Pex bringing back their lead on the scoreboard. The swings going both ways. Like I said, there'll be a team that takes control, then a team that loses control. And it will go back and forth somewhat. But, ooh, unlucky for Blaze coming through the teleporter as a rocket right in the face. Only had 1 health, but did have some armour. Maniagua gonna go down here, doesn't manage to grab the red. Vegeta's gonna take it. And try and defend, I think. Vegeta will probably try and get into, once Score's taken out, of course, try and get into the red room again. Into the red and rocket room. Quad up, it's on Nexus. They've done well to steal this with Vegeta right there. Unfortunate spawn for Vegeta. Sometimes you really do feel in this game like spawns are set to spawn closest to the guy that killed you. Nice prediction. I didn't even see the teleporter sparkles there. Absolutely perfectly timed rocket prediction there. Slightly off on the timing there. You'd have wanted it to go before he picked up the rocket launcher. But hey, the kill's the kill. 3 rockets on Pex right now. But not much in the way of health except for Blaze. GND's managed to pick one up. Quads up. A lot of flashing around, and it's a full death from Paniagua. GND hiding out in this second red spot. Good stack on the rocket launcher. Could do with a couple more health bubbles. And they'll be waiting around a long time for the quad, but they don't want to push in. Pex has no reason. They've got 100 frags and 10 minutes, or just about 9 minutes remaining. They don't need to push in or try for anything. They could, I mean, yeah. Like I said, you've got to come out of this room. Pex were able to make it count on the scoreboard. If TBG holds the very important rocket, red and mega room area down at lower, then they might not be able to make any frags. Yeah, every second that passes, it becomes a harder comeback for TBG. Like I said, the swings were going to happen, and they have absolutely happened. Mostly in favour of Pex, and then, of course, Pex getting such an early lead. I mean, they were, what, 50 frags ahead by 3 minutes or something like that? Having such an early lead means that you have that comfort to be able to go, yeah, no, this isn't a piece of me. I'm going to leave. And they can run away, not try for frags, not try for the... If the quad gets taken, they don't have to try and kill the quad. They just have to try and survive. Give up 10 frags and it's fine. So, they're in a very good position. TBG effectively has to wait 30 seconds for items to come up, and then they can try a bit of a push. And every minute they go for the quad, but everybody's going to be at the quad, that's guaranteed. Pex is happy to give up a few frags to make sure that the quad doesn't come out as well. That's a very worthwhile trade. We talk about sometimes, especially in duel, more than just the way the maps play out really, more than we do for 4-on-4, trading stack for position. Using rocket jumps to trade stack for position, and sometimes stack for position rewards you with stack, depending on where items are, such as rocket jumping up to take the red on Arrow Walk. That's trading whatever stack you've got, potentially only health and a rocket launcher, into a red armor. But there's also, especially on 4-on-4, trading frags for position. So you might trade, say, 4 frags to stop the quad rocket from being actually used. TBG seem to have managed to get this quad rocket out though. Nice shot there. Panic flick with the shotgun. But Paniagua has not really got the position to take anything more than just grabbing whatever he can. They pick up a free yellow. Always nice to grab. Huge score difference on this. 117 frags with 6 minutes remaining. It's not impossible, but it would require a major cock-up in multiple moments. Because there's so many resets in 4-on-4 where everything just suddenly goes calm. We're in one for a short while there. Partially because Pecs don't really care about going into fights. Like, look where Pecs all are. They've all got down, but they were all hiding out just in this section because they didn't need to do anything else. They didn't really, you know, they sent a couple of players to go and try and defend the quad. Make sure it wasn't taken completely for free. But they were all just hiding out in this corner. They didn't need to do anything more. Vegeta could be able to take a good point on this, but doesn't have the weapons to pull it off. Pecs currently entirely fresh spawns. They have lost their 100 frag difference. Panico really does not want anybody coming into that room at all. Which says that Paniagud wanted the items more than the frags. Because you could wait. You've got a better chance at fragging someone if you wait for them to turn up and then shoot them with a rocket. Than you do just spamming grenades constantly. Because if someone's just spamming grenades constantly around a corner, you're going to go, yeah, fine. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. Yeah, we are indeed under 100 frags the difference. The comeback is being mounted. It's definitely a tough comeback because, yeah, like I say, they're going to have to make some mistakes because they have the ability to not. That initial set of frags that Pecs were able to get on TBG, a lot of that was because Pecs was able to push, and TBG had to push back and fast respawn and try and take control, because otherwise it could have been way worse. They could have lost even more control. It's a difficult position to be in, you know, an unenviable position, as they say. But the frags have come back, and now we're in another reset. Just when it happens to be that all of the items line up to not being available. So there's nothing to fight over. Teams just scooping up what they can, grabbing backpacks, ammo for weapons they have already grabbed. Maybe a rocket launcher if it's undefended for a moment. Or a yellow. And then they'll be fighting very briefly. Everybody wants control over this room for the next mega. For the next quad. This next quad, very important. Coming up in 5 seconds. Everyone's in the right places for it. Vegeta's got the high ground. 2 players in. Blaze gets in with as a distraction, effectively. I think they just sent 2 players in, hoping that one of them would grab it and that they'd both get out fine. And Pecs has managed to pick up this quad. Very nice movement from Vegeta. Many would fall into the lava in that situation. Dancing around on top of it. Unfortunate respawns there for those guys. And Pecs stretching their lead. There's nothing that TBG can do. This is that same position. They have to push in and try and shut down the quad. But they're going to lose a lot of frags in the process. Whereas if they were slightly closer, you could see them definitely trying not to fight there. But they just don't have the time. We're out over 100 again. They have to push in. They think it's over. It probably is. I'd expect to see some silly play of just pure shotgun rushes and maybe trying to do some of the daft stuff with the lava buttons and stuff like that. When we get to a minute to go, because these chaps will see a minute to go, they'll realise the score line over 130 frags. They've got to do double their frags in the last minute. It's not going to happen, especially if they can't pick up the final quad. And it's good for a brain reset to just play silly deathmatch, running around, not caring about the score because it doesn't matter. And yeah, just getting in at the end. If you get a couple of funny frags, that can definitely help you going into the next map. Which, looking at this score, you're definitely going to have a good mental. Just wipe the slate clean. It's definitely what some of the best players do when they lose this badly. You know, they won the first match, very tight game. First map, sorry, very tight game. And then this one, it's just blown out of proportion. They lost, really, they lost in the first 2 minutes. But they were able to hold on to it for a while. I love hay fever. And it was certainly comebackable, of course. It always is. But they end the game. 300 frags. Peck's just managing to get it in with 300 frags to 137. An absolutely enormous score difference coming out of these players. But there it is. That's map number 2 done. We are 1 apiece going into map number 3. We enter Schloss for map number 3, all tied up and ready to go. Did I check that the teams were correct? Probably not. Yep, I'm going to team skin. There we go. Seems to change every time I load a demo. Good start from Peck so far. Hopefully not as good of a start as they had on the last map. That was quite dominating right at the start. Schloss, a map where playing together as a team and holding down points is very important. And then roaming kind of becomes... Well, roaming doesn't really exist, I think, on this map. There's people who go around and move, but for the most part you're either attacking a position or defending a position. And generally you'll have to do that as a team, because to come into this section, you're going to struggle. Unless you've got a quad, you know, you might roam if you've got a quad. Yellow's up, nice jump, good trick jump, finds Vegeta on the fall down. Lovely movement from Panny. Finding 2 players up in the church. Both trying to find red. Not a great position to be in. Gets out of dodge, even if you've got a quad. Not always worth going in. Great rocket shot there. Vegeta landing onto the yellow. And Panny's got the yellow now. Yellow and a rocket launcher, but no stack on the no ammo on the rocket launcher. Nice jump across, takes some ammo. In a good position. Blaze has the quad. Manages to make a frag onto Panny. Will stack up nicely with that. Oh, beautiful shot straight onto Panny. You could see Panny try and dodge it, but the prediction was already there. And of course the quad rocket. It was going to land somewhere near and frag out a fresh spawn. Blaze able to take into the church. Pretty consistently free. Yellow up in just a second, and the rocket launcher will be there too. Nice grab of the mega health. The last time I was watching this map, you barely saw the mega health get taken somehow. It was always gone whenever somebody was out, but barely saw it get taken. I don't think it was a case of the player with the mega health always having it. Blaze with a team frag, but just spamming rockets down from above, up in tower. Holding out that yellow position for a teammate until a teammate can swap in. Quad come up in 2 seconds, and that was a brilliant positional play to be able to take the quad. Playing from tower to clear out everybody without going in and actually playing the mega. It holds you a good position to be able to control for the mega, but without having to actually be there in a more dangerous position, easily attacked. Tower very well fortified. It's pretty easy to defend tower, but it doesn't have enough resources for you to be able to stake yourself out there. If you do have the resources, you are defending tower all day, but then nobody's going to turn up if you're just standing there. Good fragging so far as we come up to the 4-minute mark in this map. 54 frags lead already from Pex. Is it going to be another crushing defeat for TBG? Nexus can't quite make the move. Gore manages to get it. Blaze comes through with a very nice rocket launcher, taking out the quad. And then holds in position to hopefully be able to secure this tower area. Respawns coming through from TBG. And Blaze goes down to them eventually. Does a lot of damage. Everybody coming in for this red. They all want it. There's a mega in the courtyard. And now Pence up in 10. The red and a little bit of overheal on Squeeze. Vegeta with an accidental suicide off the top. Who's got it? Gore has managed to pick up the Pent. In a good position to be able to make use of it as well. With a good amount of rockets, the nail gun can be useful if you've got the Pent, as you can push in very close. Of course, the rocket launcher is still very powerful, but the super nail gun can be very powerful with the Pent. Nice shot there. Straight out of the Pent, straight into a red suit. Good shot there onto Blaze. Red armor coming up. That courtyard yellow, I think, is up. Nice move from Gore to get out of there via the teleporter. Taking the mega in the graveyard. We have quite a score difference already at the 6-minute mark. Round about 60 frags. Pex could run away with this one as well. They're holding together as a team so well as well. I mean, the scoreline, they're mostly raid bossing. Nexus slightly behind, but generally everybody pretty close, I would say, on TVG. But Squeeze, really? I'm surprised by that, actually. We've been seeing, like, Vegeta and Blaze taking most of the quads, but Squeeze apparently just been absolutely hammering it home while we haven't been paying attention. Yeah, the majority of the frags on the board. Paniagua very well stacked going into this fight, but 2 rockets direct from TBG pushes him down to low health. Nice snipe there from Dobbers. And some raining rockets from above. Slight bit of downtime on the map. Be interesting to see how TBG try and get back into this. They're holding down a good number of points right now. They do have a very good control over the map, but yeah, they've got the quad now. But will they be able to get back into this game? Quad goes down pretty early without doing too much damage. And of course the quad can do no damage, but can bully players out of positions and can hold positions down really well. The quad dying and being known about that death early is really important for Pex, because they can say, yeah, there's no quad on the board now. There's no quad hanging around. We can Go and do what we need to. Very nice rocket from Dobez. Does end up going down to his own shot, but does take out Blaze. Super nice shooting there. Bounce him up, shoot him in midair. Viag now pushing in for this quad. Can't get down. Nexus in the wrong place with that rocket coming in. A great rocket from whoever shot that one. Straight onto the quad as it came up. Quad straight down as soon as it was picked up, pretty much. Now Vegeta holding very well stacked. Not too much in the way of ammo on the rocket launcher. But very healthy right now. Unfortunate team frag. Good switch to the shotgun there. I did run out of rockets, so I didn't have much choice, but sometimes you see people, I certainly do it pretty much every time, you run out of rockets and then you panic and you're just firing with the shotgun in the same way at people's toes and try and get splash damage off, but with a shotgun this time. But yeah, Vegeta noticed they had the shotgun and played it well. Pence up, who's going to grab it? It is going to be Blaze on very low health, but grabbing the shotgun, grabbing the pent and firing with the shotgun. Now rocket launchering around. RL is the most powerful thing to have with the pent, whereas I would say RL becomes less powerful if you have the quad. Obviously it's incredibly powerful, but in terms of comparison to other weapons, of course, yes, it becomes massively more powerful in general. But in terms of comparison to other weapons, I'd put the shotgun up, the super shotgun. And the rocket launcher will go down in my estimation because you can no longer rocket jump. And you can no longer kind of play really close quarters. Because you're almost certainly just going to mutual frag each other if you're playing super close quarters. Still, you probably want whoever's got the quad to have a rocket launcher. LG the most powerful with the quad, I would say. At least in terms of picking fights. If you take the quad and try and defend somewhere specific, and you can just spam shots around corners from a long way away, knowing you're not going to take self-splash damage, then you're definitely very good with a rocket launcher. But a lot of maps without LG. Look at that beautiful shooting there. Just in the right place. Like, using the shotgun. Ooh, bad example. Using the shotgun when there was distance between themselves and another player, and then using the rocket launcher when there was distance, and then closing that distance, or if the opponent closed that distance, using the shotgun. Some of these opponents will try and close the distance as well. If you're up against a quad and you can't get out of the fight, it sometimes is just worth closing the distance, and then you know that they're going to do more damage to themselves than they are in comparison to you, especially if you're one rocket away from dying anyway. You might as well take them down with you. TBG have held steady the last couple of minutes since we last took a proper look at the scores. 70 frags the difference. They've held that pretty steady for a while. It's a lot of frags, and yeah, it's not coming down, which is going to worry them as we're solidly in the second half of this match now. If you say that the first 2 or 3 minutes are the start of the match, then the final 2 or 3 minutes are the end of the match. Then the 12-minute mark is about halfway through the map. Great rocket there from Viag. We've opened up more of a lead through this quad, but not specifically from the quad, more from being able to hold down all the positions and not let any items go. So right now there's been moments where TBG haven't even had a yellow or a rocket launcher on their team. Such as pretty much right now. Very low on the yellow, no weapons, entirely rocket launched up, squeeze is fully stacked. Coming into this quad fight, TBG somehow manages to get it, but it does go immediately down. Very nice shot from whoever shot that in. $222, very nice number. Over 100 frag gap now. Huge difference has been made on the scoreboard. Who's up there at the top? Squeeze is still the one pushing the limits. And you can see the massive difference, really looking at that. Viag the worst on Pex, but still better than the best. When the scoreboard is in the same order it would be if this was FFA, that's when you know it's a problem. It's been a complete lockout on this map for the most part. Of course, you can't take a complete, like, total lockout on Schloss. But you can certainly hold down the right items at the right times. Long respawn times, especially on things like rocket launchers compared to other games, means that QuakeWorld can be played like that. Pentaquad, you know, not even worth mentioning, but actually it's on TBG. How much damage can they do with a Pentaquad? I think Penigua are forgetting. You sometimes do forget how much a quad rocket does. You go, oh, I've got Pentaquad, I can rocket launcher, it's fine. You think, oh, you're never going to rocket launcher with a quad. Just a quad. And then you get Pentaquad every once in a while and you rocket launcher with it and you go, oh, yeah, no, yep, fair enough. We are way up in the air. And the skybox on this map, specifically in the bit where Penigua just rocket launched there, very high. A lot of other places where you probably wouldn't notice it because you just bump into the roof if you're in this section here. Nice grab there from Penigua, getting the quad, getting 2 frags as the players come around the corner. I think Penigua is going to want to take some health here, grab this yellow, and then get on the move with the quad. Should be able to find Blaze. Does indeed come into this top room. Blaze is back in there as well. Hold down that. Seems like TBG's got very good control over these places, but if you watch Pex, down in the bottom corner, they've still got 3 rocket launchers down in that scores just below where my character model is here. You can see that they've got rocket launchers, they've got yellow armors. So despite being a quad down, and you saw a lot of deaths coming through. Penigua got quite a few deaths, quite a few frags during that quad rocket spree, and the scoreboard did appear to close up somewhat. It was, yeah, just mostly on one guy. I think 3 frags on Blaze. So the rockets kept flowing, and Pex were able to keep control of the rocket launcher section, despite kind of not having proper control over the cathedral area. Just in here, they had control at the time where the items were up. That's what's most important. Nearly at 2 minutes to go. The frag difference is almost double again. TBG have done a good job. Every time they've been able to get back in control, they've been able to make it really count. Unfortunately, they've also lost a lot of frags on the sections when they haven't had control, and they've had control less. It's been just a simple play like that. You know, that they'll probably make this count. You know, the rocket launcher's going to come in, great frag, find squeeze again. Should be able to pick up another couple before the quad wears off. Pex aren't hiding. They need to be in some positions denying armor. The deaths are fine. If they can deny armor, then one death with the armor just there is worth it, because if a player on TBG was able to get that armor, then it's going to make a fight much harder. Viag with the R8 will go down. But yeah, 1 minute left. And the frag difference is 127. Just not as much control as TBG needed. A lot of the quads that they picked up, in important moments, they were able to get the quad, but Pex was able to respawn and shut the quad down, or already had the lead towards the end of this map after that halfway point of sort of 12 minutes, you say, you know, a halfway of 12 minutes. After that point, Pex had enough of a lead that if they lost the quad, they were able to play defensively. They could go back, play. Sometimes, I think Pex has done an amazing job towards the end of this map of deciding when they need to play together as a team and hold one place, and when they need to not do that. Whereas a lot of the frags that came out early in this game, from Pex onto TBG, TBG was playing it together as a team. They were trying to hold down a place with 4 players in one spot. But by doing so, you open yourself up to being just mass fragged in one place, respawning. All of you have got nothing on your backs, so you're all scrambling around trying to pick up items. There's no way you're going to be able to take control of something like Church and pick up the yellow and the rocket launcher. And the frags just flow one way. 282 to 149. A decent scoreline for sure. We will move on now to the next map. The 4th map. Will TBG be able to bring this back? Their mental will be in a difficult place right now. So we'll see if they're able to do it. And let's move on to map number 4. Here we are. 2-1. TBG needs to win the next one to take this to a decider. They won the first. Pex has convincingly won the next ones. And I need to find out if I've got everything correct. I do indeed have the correct colours on the correct teams this time. Beautiful work. We are on E2M1, a very different map to the last couple of maps we've played. Last couple of maps have been very circular. You can run round them, you can circle them, you can run away from your opponent as they're chasing you. This map, much more a map of dead ends. A map of controlling certain places at both ends of it. And controlling this central place with the rocket launcher in the middle. It can be a place of high frags, it can be a place of low octane. Auto tracking had indeed accidentally disabled itself. Nice rocketry there. Bomb the guy around the corner. And then take it on. Good work. Pex gain a small lead. It's not as bad as we've seen. I think the start of this will go much slower. There's a lot less weapons, certainly compared to Schloss. You pretty much always see on Schloss that half of the team will have a rocket launcher. Whereas here, it's going to be a lot more shotgun shots and secondary weapons. And picking up things from weird places. And players not going for weapons because they can't loop around. And there is a decently powerful, in the right situation, in the right hands, nail gun, but it's all the way back at the non-deathmatch spawn, the campaign spawn, to pick up the nail gun. But it's very powerful if you can grab it. Super nail gun, I've just completely blanking on where that is. I'm really bad at remembering where things are in every game. It's not just because I haven't played enough QuakeWorld. It is also because I'm just bad. Super nailgun and quad, incredibly powerful indeed, yeah. Ooh, nice blast up. Viag's just taken that quad for free, I think. And like we say, super nailgun and quad, doing some good damage. Very nice work from Gore to take out Viag there. Viag trying to escape, gets caught on the edge. The regular shotgun does quite a surprising bit of knockback in the right situations and can definitely put you off. And I think that's what happened there with Viag getting caught over on the side. Nice shooting there from Blaze. Does take a direct rocket, but able to absorb it with the Mega that he picked up earlier. Gonna hold out and give that yellow to Squeeze, who's got a rocket launcher now, just holding down this position. players are going to respawn in here, so we will get a couple of frags coming out. Can we like get someone who's fighting? I can hear deaths and fighting all over the place, but auto tracker doesn't want to move me over to it. Great shooting here from Dobez. Finds another, completely defends this quad and is in the best position to take it. Grab a couple bits more health. The yellow might have been called up soon. Yellow got stolen, I think, actually. 2 health left. There's no health there. You go through the teleporter, you take that. Dodging every shot. Can he be able to get some more health from spawn here? Does indeed. It's an interesting one. If you can find people running in and out of spawn, then, and that's what I'm going to call spawn. If you can find them running in and out of the start of the map, they're generally going there because there's a lot of health in that area. But it is a difficult place to really stand around and control because all doors are always open. So you're not too sure if people are going to come through. We've hit the 4-minute mark. 26 frags the difference. It makes sense. A few more quads go in the way of Pex, especially ones that didn't just get immediately nuked. And quite good play. Very nice from Vegeta, holding out on moving into that quad until he knew that everyone else around was not shooting rockets straight at it. You can find a good position for this quad to defend it from, where you can fire rockets straight into the hole of it, and that can be very dangerous. But you can also stand around with grenade launchers and do the same thing from the other corner. So if you're in the right place, you can really hold off the quad or do damage as they exit. And luckily for the defending team, or the team on the back foot in that moment, the grenade launcher is in the correct side. Very nice steal from TBG there. They all come in at the same time. A lot of damage dealt on the scoreboard, unfortunately for them. But they are able to take this yellow room. And Dobez should just hold this. At least until the yellow comes up. Potentially further. Especially since they've got Nexus on the case with the quad. Yellow has a little while to come up. Nexus playing well around this quad, just holding out position. Goes in, the rocket launcher's there. Quad goes down, not too much time wasted on the quad, I don't think. Wasn't so much left on the end of it. Good shot there. Ooh, really nice shot from the teleporter. Sometimes hard to get your bearings out of that teleporter, I find. I'm not sure what it is. Most teleporters I'm alright with, but that one specifically, you come out and it's sometimes difficult to know exactly which way you're going. It might be because I have a strange feeling that for some reason it's the wrong way round in deathmatch compared to single player. So I think you come out of the single player one. Oh no, it does face the same way. Yeah, faces towards the green pickup. Ooh, terrible missed rocket there, but Nexus just sees a rocket go flying past his face and goes, oh, hey, where did that come from? The next thing he knows, there's a rocket coming and it's actually going to hit this time. Nice play here. 38 frags the lead. Peck's not really able to gain anything much on the scoreboard in the last couple of minutes. But they are now picking up the quad. Quad immediately goes down. And the big fight ensues. Peck's going to come out of it slightly better off than TBG. But good work from TBG to be there this time. Not letting Pex take that one for free. And right now it's pretty even Stevens in terms of stack across the board with these players. The control of the map I would say goes to Pex. They've got a little bit more. than TBG, but right now TBG's got better weapons. Paniagura's got 7 health, but a super nail gun. So not the greatest position to be in, but should be able to stack up a little bit. Looking at the positioning on the map, seems to be at the mega health, so yeah, back to stack. And a big fight over the quad. It's come up a lot sooner than I thought it would. All of a sudden surprised, everything's going off all at once, and then suddenly you're back at quad fighting over it. But it's an up and down quad. No damage dealt. A lot of damage dealt to TBG though in that fight, as quite a lot of Pex survived at the end of it. Viag just holding down the rocket launcher entry for a second there. It's an interesting rocket launcher. Sometimes you'll see players just hanging out on the rocket launcher, but a lot of the time you'll see them trying to defend it, especially when they don't need a rocket launcher. They'll be trying to defend it from the outside. It's often the player without the rocket launcher that's inside defending it, unless there's a specific reason for someone powerful to defend it for a teammate. Paniagua with the quad doing damage, bringing this back slightly. 44 frags is our difference as we approach the halfway mark. It's an absolutely doable difference. This one has not got away from them at the start, but they are on the back foot, and they are going to have to work to make it count. Squeeze managing to just hide away from the quad there, and the quad runs out before Squeeze goes down. Waste the green armor. Bit of overextension really from Paniagua. Didn't need to push in and try and chase Blaze down. Plenty of time. And to bring a scoreline like this back, it's not the single frags that are going to do it. It's this sort of moment right here. You need to take this quad off of them, but Viag's going to grab the quad. Not great on the stack side of things, so not wanting to take any fights with it. But remember, you know, Pex are in the lead, and there's over half of the time gone. They don't need to take they don't need to take the frags with it. They need to take the control with it. If they can use the quad and use the items to hide out and take control, Vegeta with a beautiful set of frags denying use of the yellow armor. Would have rather had it himself, but second best is making sure that it doesn't last very long. Right now we see that Pex are just holding this down, just not letting TBG get in anywhere. Quad's coming up, 2 players stationed, watching both entrances, and it gets taken. Gore goes down. Not much of a fight put up there. I think they saw, TBG would have seen that Pex were in a solid position to take the fight, and didn't really want to risk too much. The last couple of times they've pushed in late, and I think that's possibly what they need to sort out. They need to get there. It's a tough one. You get there too early and Pex are just going to turn up and destroy you. You get there too late and Pex already has the quad and you're going to get destroyed. So it can be a difficult one, especially when all Pex is going to do with the quad is park it in one place to stop you from getting a certain item. Quad comes up. TBG have managed to get it. Perfect timing. They were there very early, but they got there with good players, good weapons, and oh no, unfortunate one, Gore. Panny spamming out that there's a yellow here. Some team member might want to come and get it. Dobbe's going to grab it, and Paniagua is going to stay in the yellow room. Nice shot. "62 frags the lead with 7 minutes left. This flow has been stemmed the last couple of minutes, but it's still a big gap. And TBG, much like in the last maps, they've been able to stop losing frags so much. But they haven't really been able to bring any back over a long term. They might get 10, but then they'll slowly lose those 10 in the next bit. And I do wonder, looking across these 3 games, if it's the bits that you don't really notice when you're not paying attention to the scoreboard. When there's a quad going round or a pent or something like that, you notice the scoreboard. But I think if you just watch the ticker, Pecs are getting frags right now where there's nothing up. The stacks look pretty even. Okay, now Pecs is massively in the advantage with 4 rocket launchers against a bunch of fresh spawns. But that's what I mean. When you then go into a proper fight, the entirety of Pecs is stacked up, is ready for it. Whereas TBG aren't quite in that position to be ready for it. But they are at least stemming the flow, and that's a start. They're playing very well. I'm being very critical of them, but yeah, TBG are playing absolutely brilliantly in a lot of moments. Pecs are just able to outplay them in certain moments that carry. Their defensive safety play is much better as well from Pecs. I think that's really where the score lines are coming from. TBG are not great at defending. Like I said at the end of the last map, sometimes they turn up to a fight and lose all 4 players. And that really puts you on a back foot for a while, because you've got to then, with no weapons, get weapons. And if the enemy team wants to defend that rocket launcher, they really, really can defend that rocket launcher on this map. Nice frag there. Squeeze is going to pick up the quad. Again, I expect them to use it to push into one location and then defend it. So they'll probably defend this mega room. And the rocket launcher. Just around here. Very nicely done. Dobez nearly manages to make the frag. Pushing into this quad, I don't think there's any need to. In that moment. It's worth trying to take the quad out, but there's not much time left on it, and running away from the quad can be a better option. Although there is a bit of... You're 88 frags behind with 4 minutes left on the clock. There's definitely a bit. It's going out 10 frags a minute. Quad up. TBG have managed to pick it up. Very nice of them, but it goes straight down. Nice shot there from Paniagua. Mega health up soon. Not sure if Pani knows the timing on the Mega, is just waiting around controlling it, but happy to take it if it just turns up. And if you were timing it, be happy with your timing. Pushing into this room. It's very difficult to push into this room sometimes, into this yellow room from these upper stairs, because you've got the option of going in slowly, and if there's a couple of people you're going to get locked out because of the rocket launchers that will come through, or you push into the room very aggressively like Pani just did, and then they got bombed because there were 2 guys with rocket launchers. So sometimes you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. There is always the chance that you rush in quite hard and are able to take them by surprise. Who's managed to pick up the quad? It was Dobbs. Gets 1 frag and then goes down. Not bad. Not bad. TBG, of course, happy to let the quad be taken and go down. And they didn't, in that exact fight, lose any extra frags than they needed to. But again, it is that point between the fights. These are not... There's no fights going on for any items at the minute. But TBG are losing frags. It's my kind of gameplay, I've got to say. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. Deathmatch based old school gameplay. If you are new to QuakeWorld, the tactics of 2v2 are incredible. Sorry, 4-on-4. 2v2 as well. But 4-on-4, the tactics are incredible. There's certain games with like capture the flag and stuff, and objective based modes that I don't think have as much team play as QuakeWorld's 4-on-4 scene. Minute and a half left on the clock. It is definitely going the way of Pex this game. Gore doing a good job with the rocket launcher and the quad. Can't seem to find the shot on Blaze. Incredible dodging from Blaze does eventually go down, but hey, you've just defended successfully for quite a while there. And nicely placed shots from Gore as well. Not able to hit Blaze, but I think Blaze was doing some incredible dodging. But also not hitting teammates with a quad and low teammates around. Big fight up at quad. I think the quad spawned just behind. I saw quad spawn. I don't think anybody picked it up though. Maybe they did. We've not teleported over to it. I'm sure somebody would have ran past it and gone, hey, up, that's still there. Nice panic grenade launcher. Good shot. 10 seconds left on the clock. And it's going to go the way of Pex. Pineapple Express taking the win over RetroRockets. Green. GG on the match and the series. 3-1 to Pex. Convincingly in the end after a very, very close first map. Very well played from everybody. Moving on to the finals then, Pex. We will see them in the Div 2 Silver Finals. Whenever that game gets played. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next demo.